The unexpected. Letter rain pounded against the windows of Olivia Reed's small apartment as she peeled off her paramedic uniform, still damp from a 12-hour shift. At 28, her life had fallen into a predictable rhythm of emergency calls, instant ramen, and fighting the ever-growing mountain of student debt that threatened to bury her dreams of medical school. The knock at her door was so faint she almost missed it. When she opened it, a man in an immaculate suit stood there, seemingly unperturbed by the weather that had drenched everyone else in Portland that day. "Olivia Reed?" His voice was formal, practiced. "That's me," she replied, suddenly conscious of her coffee-stained sweatpants. "Thomas Burke, from Hendricks & Associates law firm." He handed her a cream-colored envelope, heavy with importance. "I regret to inform you that Harrison Wells has passed away." Olivia took the envelope mechanically. "I don't know any Harrison Wells." The lawyer's expression softened slightly. "He was your biological father." The words hung in the air between them. Olivia had known only two things about her father: that his name was Harrison and that he had walked out when she was 3, leaving her mother to work 3 jobs until cancer took her when Olivia was 19. Harrison Wells of Wells Technologies? The connection clicked suddenly. Everyone knew Wells Technologies, the cutting-edge firm valued at billions. "The same," Burke confirmed. "And he has named you as his sole heir." Inside her apartment, Burke explained the situation with practiced precision. Harrison Wells, tech visionary and billionaire, had died of a heart attack at 62. Despite never acknowledging Olivia publicly, he had been keeping tabs on her for years. And now he had left everything, the company, the properties, the fortune, to her. "There is, however, a condition," Burke added, sliding a document across her coffee table. "You must spend 24 hours with Nathan Foster, Mr. Wells' Chief Innovation Officer and protege. During this time, you will tour the company, learn about its mission, and understand the legacy Mr. Wells wished to leave. If you refuse or fail to complete the full 24 hours, everything goes to the Wells Foundation." "This is absurd," Olivia said, pacing her cramped living room. "He abandons us, never pays a cent of child support while my mother works herself to death, and now he wants me to jump through hoops." "Mr. Wells was a complicated man," Burke offered. "The choice is entirely yours, Ms. Reed. But considering your current financial situation—" He glanced pointedly at the stack of past-due notices on her counter. Olivia felt her cheeks burn. "I'm managing just fine." "Of course. But the inheritance includes approximately $3.2 billion in assets." The number hit her like a physical blow. With that kind of money, she could finish medical school, fund free clinics, create scholarships for kids like her. "And if I do this, spend time with this Nathan person, I'm not obligated to keep the company. You can sell it, donate it, or run it yourself. Once the condition is met, there are no restrictions." After Burke left, Olivia stood at her window watching the rain. She thought of her mother, who had died believing they had been forgotten. She thought of the patients she couldn't save because of inadequate resources. And she thought of the father she never knew, reaching out from beyond the grave. She dialed the number Burke had left. "This is Olivia Reed," she said when he answered. "I'll do it. Set up the meeting with Nathan Foster." As she hung up, thunder cracked outside, as if punctuating a decision that would change everything. Tomorrow, she would meet the man her father had chosen over her and decide if Harrison Wells's legacy deserved to continue. Reluctant reunion. The Wells Technologies headquarters dominated the Seattle skyline, a gleaming spire of glass and steel that seemed to pierce the clouds. Olivia stepped out of the taxi, clutching her worn leather jacket around herself like armor. The revolving doors revealed an atrium so vast she felt instantly diminished, a deliberate architectural choice she resented immediately. "Ms. Reed." A voice cut through the ambient hum of the lobby. Nathan Foster stood before her, tall and composed in a tailored charcoal suit, At 34, his dark hair was already threaded with silver at the temples, and his eyes, a penetrating blue, assessed her with unnerving precision. This was the man her father had mentored, the surrogate son who had received everything she hadn't. "I prefer Olivia," she said, refusing to be intimidated despite feeling acutely out of place in her jeans and boots. "Let's get this over with." 24 hours starting now, Nathan replied, checking his watch. "Follow me." The executive elevator whisked them to the 50th floor in uncomfortable silence. Nathan's office suite offered a panoramic view of the Olympic Mountains that even Olivia couldn't pretend to be unimpressed by. "Harrison's private quarters," Nathan explained, leading her through a concealed door into what appeared to be a minimalist apartment. "He often worked through the night. You'll stay here during our 24 hours together." "How thoughtful of him to finally offer me a place to sleep," Olivia muttered. Nathan's jaw tightened. "Harrison was many things, but he wasn't the monster you've clearly decided he was. You don't know anything about me or what I've decided." "I know everything about you," Nathan countered, sliding a tablet across the desk. "Olivia Janet Reed. Born April 18, 1997. Graduated high school with honors despite working part-time. Lost your mother to ovarian cancer during your sophomore year of college. Dropped out to work full-time as an EMT, then returned to complete your degree in emergency medicine. Currently drowning in student debt while applying to medical schools. You can't afford." Olivia felt violated. "So he spied on me. That doesn't make up for abandoning us." "He didn't abandon you," Nathan said quietly. "He left to protect you." Before she could demand an explanation, the doors opened again, and a woman with a silver pixie cut entered, carrying a stack of binders. "Dr. Valentina Reyes," Nathan introduced, "our head of research and development." "The paramedic daughter," Valentina said, her eyes brightening with interest. "Harrison mentioned you had his intuition for healing. I'm sorry for your loss." "It's not my loss," Olivia replied automatically. "I didn't know him." Valentina exchanged a look with Nathan. "Perhaps you should start with the Prometheus division," she suggested before excusing herself. The morning blurred into a whirlwind tour of departments and introductions. Olivia tried to maintain her wall of indifference, but found herself increasingly confused. Wells Technologies wasn't just another soulless corporation. Its main divisions focused on medical technology, renewable energy, and accessible education platforms. "The Prometheus division," Nathan finally announced after lunch, leading her to a secure wing requiring retinal scans. "Harrison's personal project." Inside was a vast laboratory where scientists worked on prosthetic limbs. A young man was testing an advanced robotic arm, picking up eggs without breaking them, tears streaming down his face. "Wells Tech provides these at cost to those who need them," Nathan explained. Harrison believed technology should serve humanity, not exploit it. "Why name it Prometheus?" Olivia asked, despite herself. "The titan who stole fire from the gods to give to mankind," Nathan replied. "Harrison believed knowledge and technology belonged to everyone. That doesn't align with the image of a cutthroat billionaire. The public Harrison was a carefully constructed persona," Nathan said. "The real man was complicated." As afternoon faded into evening, they retreated to Harrison's office. Olivia noticed a small framed photo half hidden behind books, a woman holding a toddler. "That's you and your mother," Nathan said, watching her. "It's the only personal item he kept here." Olivia picked up the photograph, her throat tight. If he cared, why didn't he reach out? Nathan poured 2 glasses of whiskey, offering her one. "That's part of what these 24 hours are for." He hesitated, then added, "He wasn't perfect, Olivia. But there are things you don't know about." "Why he left?" "Then tell me," she challenged. "I can't just tell you," Nathan said, frustration evident in his voice. "You need to see it all first." That was his wish. "His wishes seem to matter a great deal to you," she observed. Something flickered across Nathan's face. A vulnerability. quickly masked. "He saved my life," he said simply. "I owe him everything." The cryptic answer hung between them as night fell over Seattle, marking only the halfway point of their strange inheritance vigil. Midnight Revelations. The city lights glittered like fallen stars as midnight approached. Olivia stood at the window of Harrison's private quarters, a glass of untouched whiskey in her hand. The day had left her mentally exhausted, her carefully constructed resentment beginning to crack under the weight of contradictory evidence. "You should eat something," Nathan said, returning with takeout bags. "Harrison kept this place stocked with nothing but protein bars and coffee." "Sounds familiar," Olivia admitted, accepting a container of Thai food. They ate in silence until Nathan suddenly asked, "Why emergency medicine?" Olivia considered deflecting but found herself answering honestly. "When my mom was diagnosed, I saw how the ER doctors worked, their focus, their ability to make split-second decisions that saved lives. I wanted that power. To save your mother? To save someone's mother," she corrected. "I was too late for mine." Nathan nodded, understanding evident in his expression. "Harrison funded a major ovarian cancer research initiative in 2017, he said. He donated anonymously." "The year she died," Olivia whispered. "He monitored your life from a distance, but he never interfered. He believed that was the arrangement." "What arrangement?" Olivia demanded. Nathan hesitated, then crossed to Harrison's desk. After entering a complex password, he removed a sealed envelope. "He wanted you to have this after you'd seen the company." The letter inside was handwritten, the penmanship surprisingly delicate for a man she'd imagined as hard and unfeeling. "My dearest Olivia, if you're reading this, I'm gone, and you're facing a choice I never had the courage to offer in life. First, you must know that leaving you and your mother was the greatest regret of my existence. When Wells Technologies began to take off, I made enemies. Powerful people threatened to destroy not just me, but anyone I loved. Your mother was approached, warned, that you would be targeted if I remained in your lives. The police couldn't help against people with such influence. Janet made the choice. She told me to leave completely, no contact, no support that could be traced. It broke me, but I trusted her wisdom. She was always the stronger of us. I watched. You grow from afar. When Janet fell ill, I wanted to return, but the threats remained. Instead, I established the shell companies that paid for her treatments anonymously. It wasn't enough. It was never enough. Nathan will show you the evidence of everything I've claimed. He came into my life when he was 16, brilliant, homeless, and as broken as I was. In him, I found a second chance at fatherhood. In you, I hope he finds the family neither of us had. Whatever you decide about the inheritance, know that I am profoundly proud of the woman you've become, entirely without my help. With eternal love and regret, Harrison." Olivia looked up, tears blurring. Her vision. "Is this true?" Nathan nodded, his own composure slipping. "He kept files, recordings of the threats. I only discovered them after he took me in." "And you? What did he save you from?" Something vulnerable crossed Nathan's face. "Foster care. 14 homes in 8 years. The last foster father broke my arm when I corrected his math." He rolled up his sleeve, revealing a surgical scar. "Harrison found me trying to hack into his company's scholarship program. Instead of pressing charges, he offered me a job. Later, an education. Eventually, a purpose. Why didn't he tell me all this himself? Why wait until he was gone?" "He tried," Nathan admitted. 3 times in the past year he almost contacted you. But the cancer diagnosis changed everything." "Cancer?" Olivia echoed, stunned. "The official statement said heart attack. The heart failure was secondary to pancreatic cancer. He didn't want public sympathy, or for you to feel obligated to reconcile with a dying man." Nathan hesitated. When he realized the end was near, he became obsessed with finding you. That's When you what? Olivia pressed. When I told him I'd already found you years ago. I'd been keeping my own tabs on you, preparing for the day he'd finally want to reach out. Nathan looked away. I advocated for you to inherit everything. He worried you'd reject it outright. So the 24-hour condition was my suggestion, Nathan finished, to give you time to see the real Harrison, not just the abandoning father or the corporate titan. He met her eyes directly. I didn't expect to find myself hoping you'd stay beyond the requirement. The confession hung between them, changing the atmosphere as Seattle's rain began to gently tap against the windows. The hidden purpose, dawn broke over Elliott Bay, painting the water in shades of amber and rose. Olivia had barely slept, her mind racing with revelations. She found Nathan in Harrison's office, already working, his jacket discarded and sleeves rolled up. There's something I want to show you, he said without preamble, but we'll need to leave the building. They took Harrison's private car, a surprisingly modest electric sedan, with Nathan driving them south through early morning traffic. Where are we going? Olivia asked as the city gave way to suburbs. Harrison called it Ground Zero. It's where Wells Technologies really began. They pulled up to a nondescript medical facility with a simple sign, the Janet Reed Center for Women's Health. Olivia's breath caught. Janet Reed. Your mother, Nathan confirmed. Established 2018, funded through a blind trust. Provides free cancer screenings and treatment for uninsured women. Inside, the center hummed with quiet activity. A wall displayed photographs of survivors, and in the center a portrait of her mother. Younger than Olivia remembered her, laughing in the sunshine. He built this after she died, Nathan explained. Too late for her, but not for others. Why didn't anyone make the connection to me? Olivia wondered. Your mother's maiden name was common enough. Harrison was careful. A doctor approached. Doctor. Prisha Sharma, the medical director, who greeted Nathan warmly before turning to Olivia. You must be Harrison's daughter, she said. He spoke of you often. He did. Olivia couldn't hide her surprise. He funded us but visited regularly. Volunteered, actually. Managed our IT systems himself. Said it kept him grounded. The revelation of her father mopping floors and fixing computers at a clinic named for her mother left Olivia speechless. Their next stop was across town, an educational campus where first-generation college students received full scholarships and mentoring. This is where I would have ended up without Harrison, Nathan said as they walked the grounds. He believed education was a right, not a privilege. As the day progressed, they visited more of Harrison's shadow projects, initiatives funded quietly outside the corporate structure. Urban farms in food deserts, coding programs in underserved schools, renewable energy installations in rural communities. Why keep all this hidden? Olivia asked as they drove back toward the city. This could have been great PR for Wells Technologies. Harrison believed charity done for publicity wasn't charity at all, Nathan replied, and some of these projects directly competed with his business partner's interests. Going public would have created problems. So he maintained the cutthroat businessman persona while secretly undermining the very system that made him rich, Olivia mused. Sounds exhausting. It was, Nathan agreed. In his final months, he talked about merging his two worlds, bringing the company's mission in line with his personal values. That's where you come in. Me? I know nothing about running a corporation. But you know everything about what matters, Nathan countered. You've lived both sides, the struggle, and now, potentially, the privilege. You could bridge worlds in a way neither Harrison nor I ever could. As evening fell, they returned to the tower. Their 24 hours were nearly complete. There's one last thing, Nathan said, leading her to a secure room deep within the research division. Inside was a single prototype, what appeared to be a portable medical scanner. Harrison's final project, Nathan explained. Portable, affordable diagnostic technology that could revolutionize emergency medicine, especially in underserved areas. He called it the Olivia Protocol. She stared at the device, running her fingers over its surface. It's named after me? He followed your career choice with interest, Nathan said softly. This was his attempt to help you save the mothers you spoke of. Olivia felt tears threatening again, but held them back. When is it launching? That depends on you, Nathan replied. The board wants to price it for maximum profit. Harrison wanted it distributed at cost. As controlling shareholder, the decision would be yours. As they stood in silence, Olivia realized the true purpose of these 24 hours. Not just to learn about her father, but to decide what kind of legacy she would choose to build. The decision. The final hours of their mandated time together ticked away in Harrison's office. Outside, Seattle sparkled beneath a rare, clear night sky, stars visible despite the city lights. Olivia sat across from Nathan, legal documents spread between them. So those are my options, she said, processing Burke's detailed explanation delivered earlier by video call. Accept and become majority shareholder, or decline and let everything go to the foundation. Those are the legal options, Nathan agreed. But the real choice is more complicated. Olivia stood restless with the weight of decision. 24 hours ago, I was a paramedic drowning in debt. Now I'm supposed to decide the fate of a multi-billion-dollar company and thousands of employees. If it helps, Nathan offered, the company would continue functioning without you. I could remain as CEO, with you as a silent owner, running Harrison's company while I disappear with the money? Olivia shook her head. That feels too much like what he did. He didn't take the money, Nathan reminded her gently. Everything he built, he left to you. Olivia picked up the prototype of the Olivia Protocol, turning it in her hands. This could save so many lives in the field. The golden hour, that's what we call it in emergency medicine. The first 60 minutes after trauma, where intervention makes the biggest difference. Like our 24 hours, Nathan observed. The parallel wasn't lost on Olivia. This inheritance came with its own golden hour, a window where the right decisions could heal old wounds and create something meaningful. What would you do? She asked suddenly. If you were me? Nathan considered the question carefully. I'd remember that power once surrendered is difficult to reclaim. The foundation would do good work, but you could direct that work personally. Make Harrison's shadow projects the company's public mission. And what about you? Olivia asked, studying his face. Where do you fit in this scenario? Something vulnerable flickered in Nathan's expression. I've spent my adult life dedicated to Harrison's vision. I believed in what he was building, even when I disagreed with his methods. That's not what I asked, Olivia said softly. Nathan met her gaze directly. In any scenario you choose, I would hope to remain in your life, Olivia. The capacity is yours to decide. The raw honesty in his voice caught her off guard. In just 24 hours, this man had transformed from her father's cold replacement to someone far more complex, someone who understood loss and purpose as intimately as she did. I need some air, she said. They rode the elevator to the rooftop. Garden, Harrison's private sanctuary. The night wind whipped Olivia's hair as she leaned against the railing, city lights stretching to the horizon. He used to stand in this exact spot, Nathan said, joining her. Said it helped him remember that each light represented a life his decisions affected. Olivia checked her watch. We have 30 minutes left. Then what? You just drive me home. And wait for my decision? That was the agreement. It's a strange inheritance ritual, she mused. Forcing two strangers together for a day and night. Are we still strangers? Nathan asked quietly. Olivia considered the question. No, she admitted. I don't think we are. As midnight approached, Olivia made her decision. She found Burke's card and dialed his number. "I'm accepting the inheritance," she told the lawyer, "with conditions of my own." Nathan watched her, curiosity evident in his expression. After hanging up, Olivia turned to him. "The Olivia Protocol will be our first priority, distributed at cost to emergency services nationwide and free to underserved communities. The Janet Reed Centers will expand globally, and the company will gradually transition to employee ownership." "Harrison would approve," Nathan said, admiration clear in his voice. "There's one more condition," Olivia continued. "You stay on as CEO initially, but I won't be a silent partner. I'm keeping my job as a paramedic part-time, but I want to learn the business from the ground up." She held his gaze. "We'll build something new together. Not just Harrison's legacy, but our own." "And us?" Nathan asked, the question hanging between them like a tangible thing. Olivia smiled, the first genuine smile since receiving Burke's letter. "That's not a business decision, Nathan. That's something we'll have to figure out day by day." She held out her hand. "Starting now." As their fingers intertwined, the clock struck midnight, marking the end of their obligatory 24 hours and the beginning of something neither had anticipated. Beneath them, the city continued its rhythmic pulse. Each light a life, each life a possibility, each possibility a future waiting to unfold. In her father's final gift, Olivia had found not just an inheritance, but a purpose, and perhaps unexpectedly, a partner with whom to share it.